My last video was on the stated intent of France to supply Ukraine with Mirage 2000 jets, which they are in the process of phasing out of service. And now this week comes the news that Argentina is offering to supply Ukraine with Super Etendard attack jets. I'll be honest, I did not see that one coming. According to reports in the Argentine press, Argentina's president, Javier Milei, has said that he has approved a plan to send 5 Super Etendards, often shortened to SE, to Ukraine as military assistance. This particular type of aircraft gained fame for their use by Argentina during the 1982 Falklands War, when they used Exocet anti-ship missiles to sink the destroyer HMS Sheffield and the merchant vessel Atlantic Conveyor. Built originally as a carrier-borne strike fighter in the 1970s, the combination of the SC and the Exocet inspired consternation in the Royal Navy during the Falklands War, and then to tanker captains in the Gulf when Iraq utilised the same combo during the 1980s Iran-Iraq War. An evolution of an earlier design, the Super Etendard was reasonable enough in its day, if a bit of a lightweight as an attack aircraft. But the type was, as far as anyone knew, essentially defunct and out of service, which makes this announcement even more surprising. The Iraqis and French have long since phased the aircraft out, and Argentina's entire stock of Super Etendards are currently in storage and have been subject to an embargo on British-made components since 1982. The Argentines state that they have been in negotiations with France, assumably concerning getting the aircraft back into operation and training Ukrainians on how to use them, as well as with the United States and NATO on the plan. It should also be noted that Argentina isn't doing this as an act of charity. They are asking for equipment in exchange, with drones and helicopters being sighted, for which they will then transfer the SEs to the French, who will then be responsible for the ongoing transfer, leaving Argentina still notionally neutral in the whole affair. It is also interesting to consider the actual value that the SEs would bring to the conflict for Ukraine. The Super Etendard is an old design that, though it saw upgrading with the French and plenty of action, could never be considered a front-rank performer. Considering the significant air threat over the Russo-Ukrainian battle space that they would have to deal with, the SEs would probably need considerable upgrading or re-equipping, principally with ECM equipment, to be survivable. But considering that the Ukrainians are using just about everything anyone is giving them, plus some of the rather remarkable successes their pilots have had during the ongoing conflict, well, they might think that something is better than nothing, and will take what they can get. But of course, this all relies on a lot of international cooperation, with the US and France both overseeing the transfer of far more advanced aircraft to Ukraine, and so perhaps not too keen on adding yet another jet into the mix to further complicate things. So I wouldn't be surprised if the whole thing gets scuppered. But to be honest, if you had said to me yesterday someone was talking about sending SEs to Ukraine, I would have said, huh? With the way the world is currently, maybe the SEs will be useful as a simpler airframe to familiarise Ukrainian pilots and ground personnel with Western equipment in quick fashion, in contrast to the more complex F-16s and Mirages. So stay tuned, because maybe we will see Super Etendards flying strike missions again, and who knows, even maybe sinking ships.